recorded. So what you need is obviously a business plan, a business proposal. Now, what is this going to include? Your business plan. At first, your business plan will outline your business. It will be almost an executive summary of your business ideas. Obviously, in this field, I know we've got businesses from network marketing to coffee to mentoring and so on and so on. What we have in our academy is quite diverse. So what is the thing that people are looking for? What is the thing that financial advisors or people that are wanting to lend out money, what are they looking for? So they're looking for the business growth as well. They're looking for the aims. It needs to be detailed. The first year it needs to be detailed. Now, a lot of businesses in their first year will actually make a loss. At best, they may break even. Now, that's in startup businesses. So if you walk into a business where there's already been structured success, the foundations are already laid down, that is going to be different. You'll be further along that ladder. You'll be further along that scale. So you need to break down the aims. What's your aims for the first year? What's the aims for the second year? And so on. Long term, what is your long-term aim? That is what they'll be looking for. Financial growth as well. They'll be looking at the first year and future figures. We go back to business growth for a minute. So let's say you want to start with one business. Later on, you want to expand to two businesses and you want to be a franchisee. Or you start, let's say you're a personal trainer. You start with just one-on-one. The business growth, I want to take it online. First, I want to start in the UK. Next, I want to branch out to Europe. I want to take it overseas. I want to take it to America. I want to take it to Canada. That will all be outlined in your business growth, in your aims. The next one is something that we all forget. Because obviously people invest in people. And we forget that. We go, when we're sitting down, displaying our business plans, we sit there and we kind of just go, oh, this is everything about the company. Come sign up, come sign with me. This is everything about the company. Stats, look how much money you make. Look how much money you make. Look, that's superb. That's great. But they speak for themselves. When they see the figures, they can see it. That people would rather see it written down. You also want to know about you. If you, let's say you've been to jail 4 or 5 times for fraud. Now, that's something that people will want to know about. Investors will want to know about that. So not only do they invest in business plans, they invest in the person as well. Next part, who is your customer? You need to go out, do the market research, know that that product or service that you provide, there is a market for it. Now, I go back because in the UK, what someone was trying to do, they're trying to bring fresh lobster to the UK. Fresh lobster, fly it from Alaska and sell it in the UK at airports. Now, you think at airports, what is everyone doing? Everyone's in a rush, everyone's quite stressed and just waiting to get on a plane. How many people want to have a fresh lobster? Now, how many people want to pay that price for a fresh lobster at an airport? As you can imagine, it wasn't that much. And that business soon failed because they didn't do their market research. They found a niche. Okay, they found a niche when no one else is doing this, but there's a reason why nobody else was doing it. So you need to know your customer. You need to know if it's going to work. And then you need to realize, how are you going to market this as well? Are you going to leave it to kind of grow organically? which you may get a few people, but if you're looking for, let's say, £1 million in the first 5 years of business, you have to have a strategy in place to look at your marketing. And this is something that for investors and for your business plan, something that you need noted down and documented. So I'll move on to the first point now. Products and service. You need to know what you provide. And what I actually want to do now is I want to do a little task. So if you can unmute yourselves in a minute, I want to think of all the products or service that you can provide for Burger Bar. So if you two want to just unmute yourselves and just shout out answers.
In my particular case, can you hear me okay? I'm having my connection a bit unstable, but I'll start out. The products and services that we provide are, we actually have several. In terms, excuse me, in terms of physical products, we deal primarily in specialty Colombian coffees. Not just one, but we deal with several different
sorry,
farms,
can I just stop you a minute?
Producers of high quality coffees made here in Colombia where I live. In terms of services that we provide, what we do, it's actually a service that is very new to this area. I think we may be the actual first company in this area that provides this service, and that is and shipping it to the United States or Europe or Canada and selling it through various online sales channels for that particular company. That does several things. Are you still able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Great.
What I want to do now, Robert, is kind of break it down. So I'll kind of explain why later, but I want you both to think of what product or service can you have for a Burger Bar, for example.
Not catching what you're saying. Dang internet connection.
Like basically like being like getting the alcohol, providing the alcohol, and providing the food and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, as in what can you provide? So if you were to open a Burger Bar, what could you provide? What product or service could you provide?
Well, I mean, you can provide entertainment. You can provide, obviously alcohol. This actually have servers, which actually deliver these things to you. Basically, that's basically all I can think of right now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So if I do it with you, Gus, I'll just with I know Robert's having problems. So what about a website designer? What product or service can they provide?
Well, I mean, they can basically be freelance or like design websites or design graphics, anything of that kind of thing related to web design.
Okay. And thirdly, a doctor.
Well, there's a different types of doctors, depending. But if it's like a general doctor, usually they can provide pretty much anything related to that kind of niche.
But they would have to. Would you argue their service is them themselves?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Would you argue their service will be a one-to-one service?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to do now is kind of expand your mind. See, a doctor is. We've just had Robert drop out. I'm sure I'll come back in a minute. So let's take the doctor for example. Now they got harder for a reason. You think of a burger bar. You kind of look at the franchisees. You look at McDonald's. You look at Burger King. So what they've done is they've franchised. Now, how many people are craving for McDonald's to go online? Hundreds and thousands, right?
Yeah.
Now, that is another service that what we've done is when I asked that question, you took one burger bar. Now, what I want to do is kind of take your knowledge outside one burger bar. It's knowledge in a specific area as a burger bar, but that burger bar can break into multiple options. So you could have Burger World. Burger World also sells shakes. Burger World Shakes is another example. Burger World could sell its recipes. So you can make similar burgers at home. Burger World now sells recipes. Burger World may go, actually, we like our burgers, but we're not gourmet. We're not top-end chef level. They could have a list of burger bars which are top level and approved by them. If you gather what I'm saying.
Yes.
So let's take the doctor for example. A lot of people will go, a doctor is one-to-one. Now, you've got to think of the world we live in. Now, a lot of people go to work from 9 till 5, and that's it. They'll work 8 hours a day, and that's it. Now, the world we live in, I'm in the UK now. Obviously, for me, it's 6 p.m. I'm sure, well, I know for you two, it isn't. But I mean, I could wake up at, let's say, I could go to work at 2 o'clock in the morning, and in Australia, it's midday. We live in a world which is 24/7. Now, why would we only get paid down one avenue? One-to-one service. That for the example of a doctor. Now, I ask this question because a lot of people's minds are linear. We need to think outside that box. We need to think outside that line. So I've just said he's a doctor. Now, this doctor could have numerous networks. This doctor could have access to some of the best facilities in the world. Now, how do you do that? He can have the service online, and you pay him, and he will put you into that clinic, for example. Now, this doctor hasn't done anything. You've gone through his website, you've applied to have that service, and now what he's doing is he's getting paid 24/7 now. He's not getting paid he's not only getting paid for that one-to-one time, he's getting paid when he sleeps. Now, this is kind of what I want to expand into, and this is the reason I did this exercise, to break down that linear curve and think about what we can do. Now, that doctor could sit as a middleman. He could sit as a middleman and go, okay, you've got this problem. Now, I know a number of specialists that focus on this. Now, all he could do is be a middleman and link you up. You type in what you have. So you type in the problem you have. So bulge disc, person on the nerve. Type that in. I know specialists of that in your area. Boom, straight to them. Pay to go private. Away you go. He's middleman. He gets a percentage of that sale. This is kind of what I want you to think about. You can expand your business into 24/7, and that's what we need to be looking at. So I think I've covered that part. Obviously, if anyone wants to talk about that more, then we can talk about it at the end. So want to move on to one of the key parts. I say this is probably, this for me is the key. If this isn't done right, your product can be nowhere and worth nothing. If this is done right, your product can, there isn't a top level for the price of your product. And this is positioning or perception. So where are you positioned in the market? Who are your rivals? How are you going to improve your brand? How much work are we putting in? Now, there's two stories I want to say. How are you going to improve your brand? Now, I remember being told a while ago, there was a company actually in IT. It was a very small company, but they wanted to compete with the best. Now, they knew they weren't the best at the minute, but they wanted to be up there. They wanted to be working alongside large businesses. So let's take BT, for example, British Telecoms. Now, BT is a large business. Now, they wanted to do IT for BT. They knew they weren't ready. What did they do? They contacted BT. They asked them, do you want to use our product? BT turned around and obviously went, no, not at the minute, we don't. However, what happened then was a couple of years down the line, they went back to BT and went, we've improved what we have. Can we come and work for you? At this time, BT went, okay, but still, because they've seen that growth. Now, I'm going to take this example, and BT rejected them. However, a company from BT, a company that has links with BT, you've approached this company for your IT company, for you to do the IT for that company. Now, they've rung BT to ask their opinion on them. They go, oh, have you heard of this company? Actually, yes, I have. Now, do you think they will remember your business wasn't good enough at that time? Or will they remember that you've contacted them? Now, let's talk about conversations. When you're having conversations with a friend and they say a name to you, you know the name, but you can't think what it is. Do you think bad about that? Or do you think good? It's normally good, isn't it? You think about the brands we buy when we go to the supermarket. A lot of people stick with the brands we know. Now, how do you make a brand that people are aware of? This was one of the ways. Obviously, there's other marketing strategies, but this was one of the ways that people did it. They would contact the large businesses to get their feedback. If anything, they've got their feedback and they've got a network already. Yes, they haven't bought now, but they've got the network. It means the next time they approach them, they can see the growth and they go, oh, actually, you haven't gave up. I see your company's grown from 2-3 years ago. And okay, it may not be ready now, but in 2-3 years, come back to me because we can see the growth. Okay, so hope you've got what I'm saying there. Now, how much work are we putting in? Now, we all aim for excellence. If we don't aim for excellence, then we fail. However, the key is we fail on our goals. We fail on ourselves over and over again. We fail on ourselves multiple times. Now, what do? If we want to make 10 million, we aim for 20 million. We fail, we get 10. We look at the founder of Instagram. The founder of Instagram got interviewed recently after he sold the business for 1 billion. Now, in that interview, people were singing his praises, said, you just became a billionaire. You've just sold your business for 1 billion. All he talked about in that interview was the fact he didn't hit his target. Now, what do you think people remember him for? Not hitting that target or becoming a billionaire? So how much work we're putting in at AIM? We strive for excellence and beyond. One's perception of excellence varies. But whatever we do, we aim for excellence. If we aim to be good at something, it's more likely we won't be good at something, we'll be shit. Okay? Because we constantly fail on ourselves. So we need to set high targets to hit them. And it's like, I go back to this thing of positioning. You aim high, you're already in that party. You've hit that party already. If we go, oh, we're not there yet, you're still in that party. You're holding yourself down. It will make it harder to hit that level. Now it's easier to hit that level, go, I'm not there yet, I know what that level's about, so you can aim for it, than to speculate what that level is about. Okay? So that is a key thing I want you to take away from positioning or perception. As you can probably tell, that is the key thing I target. I will go, this is key. If you can hack this, if you can absolutely get your head around it, you'll be laughing. You'll be a success. You'll have all the money and all the wildest dreams you've ever wished. Now, how do we network? This is something, I mean, we've got a lot of network marketers in this group, a lot of MLM. And I remember back to a time when I was in network marketing, and the answers I would get from people were, I can't do this, I don't know enough people. So if you don't know enough people, go out and meet people. You look at the academy, we're having this meeting now. I mean, 3 months ago when I joined the academy, I didn't know you. And you look at how we do that. We do that through networking. Now, this week, I've been hectic going, I want to be a local celebrity in my area. So what have I done? I bought a business event. Business for breakfast. Yes, it's a 6:45 a.m. start. But I'm speaking to other businesses. I'm speaking to other businesses about my business. Already, I'm in that network. I've been to conventions this week. I built a Facebook page. I paid for ads. I built that network. And this is probably key. I would say I'm quite good at this. And I say I'm quite good at this because I know professional sports people. I know the Secretary of Defence in England. I've had a chat with the England soccer manager. All of these people, I could go to them and they can probably remember me. I can bring that all back. And how do I do that? Just through contacting people. And I'm going to tell you a little secret now. Do your research. When you are contacting someone, do your research. Let's say you're going to the Prime Minister of the country. Now, everyone asks the same questions when they get there. But what you remember is he's got a cat called Penny. The first thing you ask is, oh, how's your cat Penny? That sticks and that builds trust. Now, he is going to remember you. He's not going to remember the 100,000 questions he's had going, oh, so what do you think of this? What do you think of that? It's not going to go in. He's going to remember the guy that took his time out to do his research to ask about his cat. So do not be afraid to contact people. Do not. So now we're into the key point. Obviously, you're on about finance in today's session. So the key points for raising funds: you need to know your business plan. You need to know your figures and finance. And you must do your homework. Now, I just wanted to share a story about selling houses. Now, people go, you don't know, you can't pick out the trend. You can't, you know, the finance goes up and down. How do I know what I'm doing? You look at the finance. If let's say a house is on the market for 500,000, you look at the other houses in that area, on that street, they're only going for 300,000. Now, are you going to buy that house for 500,000? No, you're not. You're not going to take that chance, are you? Knowing that the other houses are only worth 300,000. So we must do our research. How do we raise funds? We either use our own money or we use other people's money. Now, what is OPM? OPM is an acronym for other people's money. How to raise funds using OPM? How to raise funds in general? We can either do an equity share. We can go, look, you put X amount of cash in and I will give you 20% of the company. You can do it through business loans, personal business loans. Now, in the UK, I'm sure it is in America as well and other parts of the world, the interest rate on a savings account is at an all-time low. It's at 1.5% maximum in the UK. Now, do you think people are going to want an amount sitting in their bank for 1.5% a year? No, they're not. They're going to want more than that. Another way, government or entrepreneur schemes. So in the UK, we have the Prince's Trust. I'm not sure what we have in America, but countries want people to set up their own business. They want people to be able to bring in income to the company. And you find that more and more governments are wanting and willing to set up these schemes. And the final one, the one that we all dismiss, credit cards. How many people have got through letters, have got emails about a 0% interest on the credit card for the next 12 months or 24 months? I know I've got hundreds. And what do we do with them? We just throw them away. But think about it. That is free money. If you know you can guarantee that money back, you know you've done enough planning that you can take that money and provide it back, then a credit card can be used as a zero. Remember that figure, 0%, because that's what you'll pay. You're paying 0% for 12 to 24 months on a credit card. So you can use that credit card to set up your own business or to market, whatever you want to do. I've just got a few examples of this. Now, there's a house you buy. You buy at retail for 45,000. Now, you've done up the house. It wasn't in a great state. You know that's cost 5,000. You bought the bank round to value the house. They valued the house at 65,000. Now, you make a profit then of 15,000. Now, what do you do with that 50,000 which you borrowed? You pay that back straight away. You go, thank you very much for this loan. And what does it do? It builds up your connection with the bank, with the personal. Let's say you're having a personal loan. You've just made 15,000. Now you can give them. You've took a 50,000 loan. You can give back 55,000. You've still made 10,000. And You think about the space, the time frame of that, you can do that in 12 months easily. The interest rate, remember, is 1.5%. Now, you think of the figure they will have to have in their bank to get £5,000 extra in 12 months. And you're providing this. Okay? You're providing this. And what do you get out of it? You get the profit. So you've either sold the house, or alternatively, you can mortgage that house. You can mortgage that house for 65,000, rent it out, you've still got the profit, and you can still pay back that house. Okay? Now, the other example I have, a business. You've got a setup cost of 50,000, and that includes the first 3 months setup as well. So the first 3 months, your bills are all included in this 50,000. The expected profit after 2 years, 20,000. Again, we'll go back to the streams of income, the equity share, the business loan. We're looking at using OPM. So we're looking at business loans, personal business loans, credit cards. All because we've done this planning. We know how much we are going to be getting back. So we've settled a business for 50,000. We've done our research. We expect the expected profit after 2 years to be 20,000. You think about that. Now you go. Let's even take the credit cards that we used. The credit cards with 0% interest for 2 years. So you borrow £50,000 over 2 years. You know there's no interest. You know after 2 years you made 70,000. You can pay back that 50,000 easily. It's 0% interest. You've used it as a short-term loan because you know you've done enough planning. You know you're getting profit. You've got 70,000 sitting in your bank after 2 years. You've only got to pay back 50. You made 20,000 and you've not even used your own money. So that's what I wanted to share today. So if you want to unmute your mic, I'll just answer any questions about today's session at all. I know I moved very, very quickly. So just shout out what you want to run through and we'll go back through it.
Hi, Tom. I apologize. My connection was very unstable, so things were cutting in and out. I wasn't able to participate or hear a lot of your presentation as I wanted to, although I'd like to say you did a very good job of presenting for the parts that I did hear. So I appreciate you putting this together, very well laid out deck and points that you keyed on. The unfortunate part is just that it kept breaking up and whatnot. I did notice you're recording.
Yes, I've got it recorded. So
are you gonna post this, and or would you be able to share the deck itself, or are you going to post this into the inner circle?
Yes, I'll upload it into
or into your own page.
Yeah, I'll upload it into the inner circle. I'll put on my own page as well, just for people to see what we do. As for the clips, I'm going to keep the slides. I think this was very short. This was kind of my insight for people to go, okay, well, I want to know a little bit more. So this is kind of my insight video, so to speak. Okay, so we lost Robert for a minute. So Gus, do you have any questions at all?
Yeah, it's definitely I like the presentation. You know, I did look it did make me want to know, like, oh, you know, a little bit more, but overall, you know, it was pretty good. But yeah, I was just learning about other people's money, and does this only apply to like like certain companies? Because like I know in some occasions like you can fund it yourself when you start a business that doesn't require that much capital. Like let's say if I were to start like a consulting business or something like that, you wouldn't really need that much capital. So this wouldn't apply, correct?
Well, you'll just alter the figures to what you would need. Obviously, if you can fund it yourself, you can go down that way. But we are in a climate where I go back to the 1.5% interest. The 1.5% interest is shocking. People can have that sit in their bank for a long time before they make anything close to £5,000 a year. And if they do make £5,000 a year, you can only imagine the sum which they've got to have in their bank to do that. And so, yes, you could set up the consultancy firm for a particular amount of money. However, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Aim for the next level. So at the minute you could go, my consultancy firm is very local, it's very one-to-one. I want to take that online. Let's build it online. Okay, it's only in the UK. And it's only me that has content. I need to hire someone that can run the website. And I know I can get back this money. Then you can do it using other people's money. You'll be, what I find is a lot of people are really surprised at how easy it is. It is, as long as you've done the planning and you can, basically, they can relate to them figures. That is what people are looking for. I go back to the first slide, the business proposal. The business proposal has to be tight. It has to be good. With a good business proposal, you can take that anywhere. Now, the business proposal as well, people think they're not going to change it. And what you should do is reflect on the business proposal. Now, if that's 3-4 months, I don't know. You need to reflect on the business proposal. Because, again, we go back to the goals and failing on ourselves. We need to aim high. We need to aim, reach for the sky. And I mean, we might hit excellent. Okay? It's kind of one of them. So, if you're lucky enough to be blessed with even millions, I would say there's a way to expand your business using someone else's expertise to take you to the next level. Now, I remember the statement Donald Trump says, and it was very controversial. He says, look where I've become. I only had a small loan of $1 million. Now, I kind of agree with him. You look at how much real estate Donald Trump owns. And probably how did he use that? He probably used a full 1 million just on marketing. He utilized other people's money to take him to the next level and to take him where he is today. Admittedly, I know in some places it's a sour topic because we do have the presidential elections coming up. Well, going on at the minute. But you cannot argue that Donald Trump has hit success, and he's done that using his and other people's money to get him there. So I hope that kind of answers your question, Gus.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So does anyone else have any more questions at all? No, Robert's struggling with the connection.
Yeah, struggling with connection. Just hoping that I get a chance to see the replay because I missed several segments of what you talked about. So that's that's about it. I'll just while I have a chance to talk, the way I'm using other people's money is we actually go to the providers. We're selling physical products or coffee. and we go to the providers and we have them consign the actual product to us rather than paying for it and then selling it. And that's another thing that I don't know if it was mentioned in this particular.
Yeah, it's a good point, Robert. It's just cut out again. It's kind of something I think I covered it. If not, it's a great thing to do. So you've got them products, and I imagine it works very similar to the equity share. I imagine they've signed them products over to you, and they will get a percentage of the profit you make, and that is good. What I do say is value your equity. Value your equity massively. A lot of people kind of will sell their equity early doors. Now, I know friends that have done that. I know lots and lots of companies that they wanted 100,000 to kind of take their business to the next level. Now they've done it so desperately that they've sold the majority shares of their business. Now you think about going forward, how much say will they have only having a minority of the equity? It is minimal, and you think if they're wanting, they've only done that for 100,000. You think for 100,000 they've set up, they're still not at that peak yet using their equity. How are they going to get that money again? They're going to think equity again. Now suddenly they've gone from opening this business, taking it to dizzy heights, and they're only getting 10% of that equity. So I would say yes, you can use equity, but I would say be very careful with equity, because you don't want to be putting all this hard work in, building let's say a £1 million business, and you sold the majority shares, you sold 51% of that company to somebody for 50,000. Now you built it up to the stage where it's a £1 million business. You sold 51% of that. That means they will be getting 501,000 of that company, and they only put in the 50,000 at the start. So yes, this works. For Robert, I would say this is a pretty good way. I was just saying, Robert, I imagine that the coffee company gets a percentage of every sale you make as they consign.
Yes, that's correct.
Which I was just explaining. It's great, but obviously they will get a percentage of that equity of the sale, which can work in your favor. However, what you want to do is you don't want to be tied down by that. I would say once your company is making X amount and you're charging X amount for the coffee, you don't want to be giving them more money than what it's worth, so to speak. You don't want to be saying, I give them 10% of the sale, of every sale. Now you're selling a lot of coffee at this time, they'll be making X amount of profit through you, but you could source that coffee or buy it in bulk from them for a cheaper price, so you can keep 100% of them profits to put in your company. So I would say equity does work. Be very careful with it though. Again, I go back to the point of you built up a £1 million business. Now I know companies, I know people that have sold the majority shares of their business for a startup figure of 50,000, 100,000. They go on to make 1 million, the majority shareholder is making 500,000. Well, they're making 501,000. They're making more than you, only for £50,000. And you think how much action have they put in apart from a figure? So that's why I said be very careful with the equity. Share your equity with someone you want to work with, someone you can trust in, someone that has the same passion as you in the business, and they want to take the business to the next level. You don't want to be sharing equity with someone that's just looking at the fine print and looking at the finance, because it could ruin you. And you think you sell the majority shares as well. Who runs the company now? It isn't you. It's a majority shareholder. And you have an idea. Who have you got to run it through? The majority shareholder. He's now above you. So you think you've had these great ideas about setting up a business, going down this route. The majority shareholder now holds this and not you. So again, I'll be very careful when dealing with equity. And that is my advice for that. Does anyone have any more questions? I know I will send this out as well, so Robert can catch up, and I'm sure Robert will get back to me with any questions.
Yeah, I think his connection dropped out again, but yeah, that's very true. I mean, it's basically like, you know, handing your company to somebody else. When, let's say, they get the majority of the shares, you know, and you put all this work to start this company, and, you know, just to hand it over to somebody else like that, it wouldn't make any sense.
100%, 100%. And if you speak to the successful people, you read the books, I say you speak to them, there's so many books, there's so many articles written by successful people, even local companies that have started up. They say the hardest part is getting that first step, is getting the sales and getting to a level. But once they've done that, the company almost grows organically. So I would say the first level is not where you want to be selling equity. You want to be selling equity when your company is growing organically, but it's kind of growing organically to a point where you need someone with that extra bit that can take it the extra level, so to speak. But you've got to be happy with where the company's going, and let's be honest, you've got to be happy with the money that you'll be getting from it. Let's take let's take Coca-Cola, for example. Now, Coca-Cola has grew this amount in the United States. Just for an example. Now, they want to hit a world market, but they didn't have enough knowledge to hit a world market. So they sold majority shares. They sold shares to someone who knows that market. Now, they're happy with that because they're now hitting a world target. And you know how much money Coca-Cola makes today, just around the world. And you look at how much they make per second, so to speak. Per second, the money they make is crazy. The money they make per second is a 6-figure fee. That's per second from Coca-Cola. Now, at that time, was selling the majority shares in Coca-Cola good for business? I would say yes. However, that is me. My focus there will be, I've taken Coca-Cola to a limit. I want to become a multimillionaire and kind of focus on the next level. However, if you want to stick to the ethics of Coca-Cola, if your company if money is not your sole motivation, if money is only a slight part of your motivation, then seriously consider that. Seriously consider selling equity. And I say in business now, I mean, I go back to the slide. Business zone, personal business zones, government, entrepreneur schemes, credit cards. These are all ways you can build your money and get the finance without the need to sell equity first. So that's kind of what I want to share when you're looking at equity anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Do you have any more questions at all, Gus?
No, I think that would be it. It's for me.
Okay. So I want to mention as well, obviously today is just an insight. If anyone has any more questions, obviously I'm going to be sending this video out as well. So if you've seen the video and want to contact me about a point, then twmentoring@gmail.com. Obviously, Tom Walker on Facebook. Just tomwalkerweb.com as well. I'll go back to the first slide, which says a bit about the details. TW Mentoring Facebook page. All ways of getting in touch with me. And we'll do the first session for free. It will be 45 minutes. Obviously, if you want something, if you want broad session, obviously a broad session is what you're going to get. It's not going to specialize in a certain area in one sitting. So we'll need endless sittings, and we'll talk about that then. If you want to specialize in a topic, that's fine. Just let me know and we can do that. Obviously, if it goes over 45 minutes, or if you want a lot of detail in that time, then there is a fee, and that's something we'll speak about. But I charge a fee for anything over 45 minutes, just so you're getting the best out of me. I think what I'm providing is worth that, and I don't want you sitting there not getting the best of me. Now, if I'm thinking I need to get a paycheck to pay bills, I need to get a paycheck to pay for something else, you're not getting the best of me. So that's what I want to leave it on, and I hope to see you all soon anyway. And thank you for tuning in, Gus. We'll have a conversation soon and catch up, and thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Definitely look into your website.
No problem. Thank you, Gus. So I'll end it there. It's good talking to you, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks.